Welcome everybody to another episode of Enclosed Cosmology. This week we're gonna be wrapping up us talking about Moses. So it's all about resolution. So we'll go ahead and say hi to everyone that joined us for the roundtable tonight, and then we'll get in to a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll get on to the episode. So as always, I'll throw it off to my brother Anthony Dickinson. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I couldn't be better. Shabbat shalom to everybody. Happy to be here. Extremely happy to be here. But blessings to everybody that could come out and visit with us tonight.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. All right. Yeah, it's your second one back with us. Woot woot. So hopefully that will continue into forevermore. So we're excited about that for sure. Yeah, so let's move on. We got our dear brother Daryl Lee. I know he's having a little bit of reception issues. Hopefully he can hear me and at least enough to say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody, and thanks, Vader. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Hopefully my reception will be good. Thanks. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom. Yeah, you sounded great. All right, move over to Frankie B. How you doing, sir? Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Life is good. Nick and I are writing more music. We're going to have some more stuff coming at you soon. So just stay tuned.
Yes, and I didn't get the outro done, but I did get the lyric video done. That was part of the technical issues that I was having. Figured that out, so we will at least have the lyrics up there for y'all in the music video today, or the lyric video when we play the song at the end. And then I am still working on the outro. It'll be in the similar theme as the intro, but with obviously y'all's music. So excited for that. Unfortunately, I was ill, so it didn't get as done, but definitely appreciate you being here and sharing your music and love with us. So I'll go over and say hello to Chris. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. Peace to everybody and blessings.
Indeed. And blessings indeed. We'll go over to Nick. How you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing mighty good. Just definitely kind of riding the cloud right now. Just a creative cloud, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Indeed. Indeed. I always love when you're here, so we definitely appreciate it. And then just shout out to those that are here. We got Windfeather. Thanks for being here, sister. Wendy Moore, dear sister of ours, my lovely wife. Anthony's in the chat. Dara Lee's in the chat. Nick's in the chat. We got FEAR here. Got Jenny T.I. We got Highway Hermit. Globe Asunder, thank you all for joining us, and those that join us later, appreciate y'all being here. So a few of the house cleaning things. So one, there is still the GoFundMe for Anthony. So we're still trying to hit that goal. To those that haven't heard this yet, or need another little spur, a reminder that we are trying to hit that goal. So go check that out. We really want to get him a lawyer so he can kind of fight back from what happened to him and get him in a better position than he is currently. So please help that out. We've already raised $415. So thank you to all of those who have donated. It means a lot to me, and it definitely means a lot to Anthony. So we appreciate that. Also, on Take on the World, I'm going to kind of skip ahead a little bit. On Take on the World, if you go to the community page, if you're on your phone, you have to do this like in the YouTube app to get to the community page. You can't go on the website, but there is right now, we're getting close to that 500 mark. So when we hit 500 people, this poll is going to be done with, and the number one, what it looks like right now is the shofar at 31 votes, will be that prize for the 500 milestone. So And then just a little information about that. To get into that drawing, you need to have left a comment on a video, and you need to be subscribed. So please check that out if you're interested in winning that prize and voting on that prize. It would really help us out. And then other than that, I won't get into obviously the comments and stuff, but other than that, a couple other things, and I'll do a little reminder when we get closer to the end as well. We are looking to make some new content, but we need people who are interested in helping make that content that can commit at least to, let's say, one time a month where they would be interested in that comment. So we're not going to get into that right now. We'll definitely talk about it in the after show. So join us in the Discord, and links in the description for that, if a mod wouldn't mind putting that up as well, to join the after show to learn about what we're looking to do. So if you're interested, check it out. If not, no worries. Boom. I think that was all the pre stuff that I did. So I guess let's kind of start talking about where we were and where we're going in this episode. So over the past few episodes that we've been talking, we had Moses, Pharaoh, we had their struggle, we had that battle, and now we're coming to the resolution of it. So we made it through the 10 plagues, and we the Father opened the Red Sea. We made it through the 10 plagues. We had the Passover. We made it through the Red Sea. And now we're on the other side, and we're going to start from there. So let me pull that up for you. I'm going to be reading a few scriptures tonight, and we're going to start it off over here. That up for everyone and transition. So we're in Exodus 16, and we're going to be reading 16, 20, and 32 to kind of wrap up our talk about Moses. But we're almost done there. Let's do perfect. Okay. So Exodus 16, and it says, "And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregations of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, of the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we have died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and we did not eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them, whether they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, At then even ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning then ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for he heareth your murmurs against the Lord. And what are we that ye murmur against us? And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. For the Lord heareth your murmuring, which you murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. And Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregations of the children of Israel, Come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, and Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of children of Israel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto thee, saying, At even ye eat flesh, and in the mornings ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew laid around the host. And when the dew that laid was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he gathered much, had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moses said, Let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until morning, and it bred worms, and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating, and when the sun waxed not, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, This is what which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye have baked today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and make and that which remaineth over lay up for you to keep until the morning. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and did not stink, neither was there any worm within. And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th, which is the Sabbath, there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day to gather, and they found none. And Moses said, and the Lord said unto Moses, How long ye to keep my commandments and laws? See, for that Lord hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place, let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day, and the house of Israel called the name thereon manna, and it was like cornel seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Fill an omer of it to keep for your generations, that they may see the bread within I feed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a pot, and pour an omer full of manna therein, and lay it before the Lord to keep for your generations. And as the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it upon their testimony to keep it. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years, until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna, until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer in the 10th part of an ephah. I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyways, that was a long one, guys. I definitely appreciate with that. Before I get into it, does anyone else have thoughts, things that poked out on them that they want to bring to the table?
Yeah, I got one thing, but it's not in Exodus. I like the fact that whenever they started these murmurings towards Moses over in Deuteronomy chapter 29, it says, I have led you 40. This is after they've been there a while now. It says, I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn out on your feet. So they was out there for 40 years and with indestructible clothes on, but even that still caused them to make the murmurings that was talked about in we already talked about. Even seeing him in the cloud.
Yeah, and this is already after, right? That they already, like, they literally came off like out of the river on the other side. They're now in the, now in the wilderness, and the first thing they think is like, oh, okay, we get it now. You didn't kill us with all those plagues, or the Red Sea. You decided to kill us with hunger. Out here in the wilderness.
Right.
And Moses, like they're saying this to Moses, and the Lord's like, yo, 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 this isn't, this isn't upon Moses. This is on me that y'all are saying this against.
Isn't that typical humanity, though? Always complaining, never being satisfied with the things that God has given them.
Ain't that the truth? Like if the power goes out, oh, that's the first thing people do. Oh, the power's out. Well, use that time to pick up the Bible and read a little while. I mean,
just the course of the moon.
Just that
And
quietness
as men
alone
perished,
is
they cried, and their cry
just
went
about
to heaven.
overwhelming sometimes. How good it feels. Just the quietness.
Sorry about that, everyone. Apologize. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That it's a good time to, it's always a good time to get in, into the Word with the Father, and that would obviously cause a lot of less of this, if they spend a lot more time in spirit and thinking about the Father and after His heart, then they wouldn't be thinking the way they are, So, it's unfortunate, but oh, okay, I get it now. Sean decided to go live at our normal time. Guessing this is just when he had it available, so that's why we're low. But we do appreciate all those who are here. But anyways, so another thing that I wanted to point out. Let me pull that up for y'all real quick. Bear with me. And do a little of this and a little of that. And so now, so they start their murmurings, right? And then they're even mad, like, they're even mad about the bread. Like, I'm gonna bring bread, and they're like, well, that's not really enough, right? And then they're like, we want meat too. So I think that's very, very even more to what Frankie was said, how it's never enough. They literally got bread from heaven, and then instantly were like, well, what about the meat? And then so the Lord, causes, makes it so that the quail, come up to the camps in the morning. So it's very kind of sobering, right? Because we don't see any of these kind of crazy things that it speaks about, like the fire in the sky, and manna coming down from heaven, and quail just coming up to us so we can have meat, and the parting of the Red Sea and the 10 plagues, etc. But they still are grumbling, and it's kind of humbling, right? Because can't we all say, like, no way, I would totally be thankful. I would totally not be in that camp, but I don't know.
Well, here is Proverbs 27:21. As the fining pot for silver and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. Meaning that even though we're in the fire, you're in trouble, you should always keep praise in your heart. Because praise is the only thing that sometimes can get you out of a bad situation. Most of the time. You know what I mean? And we should learn from their grumbling to not be like that and let praise come forth when trials do hit. And I know it's hard because we all have a lot of things going on in the outside world, but if we would just take the time to, like Anthony said, when a trial comes, get in the Word and just start praising the Father because he's the answer. He's the answer to everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And there's another scripture, not sure where it's at, but it says that we are created to the praise of his glory. So when we give him praise, we're in our zone. You know, that's where our zone is, you know, when we're giving praise. So
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. I think about me, right? Because it's like easy to say, oh, this is what I would do or this is how I would feel. But it's like, you know, because they obviously had quite a bit of, you know, conditioning, you know, and I'm not saying ours is worse or better or whatever than theirs. But I think about that in like kind of our own times, you know, like if things ever led up to, let's say, a second Exodus. I don't know if I believe in that concept, though it seemingly kind of makes sense, but I'm not sold on it. But point being is, you know, like,
Vader.
well, just
Vader, I
just
think.
a second, brother. Where I'm kind of coming from is because it almost makes me think that they had been seeing a lot of signs and wonders, kind of like it talks about in Second Thessalonians and Revelations about lying signs and wonders, and and how definitely with technology and like with what they are now, like how more so they're going to have these lying signs and wonders match up with scripture. And am I going to see these wonders and think they're lying signs, or am I going to see these lying signs and think they're wonders? It's very sobering for me personally, kind of looking them to go through that. But do y'all get what my point is like the reason why it didn't blow their minds is because they had been seeing the basically black magic been going on for so long that they understood that it was real. I don't know. Thoughts?
Well, we are in a second Exodus because people are leaving mainstream media. They're leaving mainstream churches. You know, there's a great awakening going on. So you could literally call this a second Exodus because we're all starting to see the BS of this realm. You know what I mean? There's a huge awakening going on. A lot of people are starting to come out of just following suit and pushing against the establishment. And to me, that's an exodus. And just this tour community alone, there's millions of people leaving mainstream churches, leaving these big congregations, and just getting in the Word and seeking God for themselves. You know what I mean?
Frankie, I totally agree with you there. I've seen it firsthand in what you're talking about, how people are like leaving their pagan congregations and get into the scripture. And one of the problems I'm seeing is when people do that, they become a part of this family, but we're all so far apart. We have to discuss things and talk with each other and show each other over Discord and over YouTube and the telephone most of the time. So I think we should all kind of work on getting that particular part of it in more of a locally based type, I don't know, community, I guess.
Well, we just need more conferences, more Take on the Worlds, more conferences like that in different areas that so that if you're in the Northeast, there's a gathering. If you're in Central America, there's a gathering. If you're in the West Coast, there's a gathering, and make them all throughout the year. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm also, in agreement with Vader Bear on the second Exodus, so to speak. I think the second Exodus would be more of a spiritual side of it. However, because I think sort of the physical part has already taken place. You know, the Israelites walked out of Egypt. But we see what happens to our nation, our tribes, our 12 tribes like of Israel. We see what happens when one of us starts to stop keeping the Torah, stop keeping the book of the law that Moses gave to, or he gave to Moses, and Moses gave to us all Sinai. Well, we see that in the book of Lamentations as to what happens.
You're roboting right now,
a community
Anthony.
or
So maybe try to get into a better spot, because like we're over talking each other right now.
Or
so just
United States. Even.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had to mute him for a second because he was. It was just he couldn't hear me because of his data. But anyways, I'll come back to you in a second, Anthony. I apologize for that. But kind of what you were saying. So I'm talking to necessarily. So I think that they will. Me personally, I think that the second Exodus will be a physical Exodus, but that physical Exodus will happen after the day of the Lord. So the mortal survivors of the day of the Lord will see the kingdom, right? And they will all make their way from where they are to that. Now, they're going to have to go through trials and tribulations on their route to the New Jerusalem. Now, that's my personal opinion. I know there's others that disagree. But anyway, so I think the call, though, on the spiritual side of it, I think that's true. But I think that's always been true. And, like there's maybe a Torah explosion in our eyes, the movement for truth in our eyes, even biblical cosmology or enclosed cosmology in our eyes. But I don't think these things ever went away. I think just now in our modern days we're able, and more people are able to start streams or to get on the internet and talk about these in forums and videos and whatever it is. So it's more readily accessible, though obviously we are way hampered because we can't just search this stuff on YouTube. You literally have to share it and have a friend of a friend of a friend, and that's how you grow the channel. We're not getting advertised on YouTube for people to watch us. So anyways, not to go in a rant about that, but anyway, I did unmute you, Anthony, so if you want to try again, we kind of heard you say Book of Lamentations, and then it pretty much got broken up from there. You there, brother? I did. You shouldn't be muted unless you muted yourself.
I can hear him.
Oh, y'all can hear him?
You muted him the wrong way, Vader. You personally muted him. You didn't server mute him.
Dang. Well, I don't know if people were able to still hear him. If they were.
Yeah, they were. I was.
Yeah.
But I don't know because it wasn't. I don't think it was. No, I don't think they heard him. Because even,
that was the longest robot ever. Yeah, because you muted him instead of deafening him.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, then you were talking over him.
It's fine. Y'all could hear it, but they can't.
All right.
So I'm sorry to y'all that could hear it. I don't think that they could hear him talking.
You muted him from the YouTube. Okay.
We'll try again, Anthony. Let's see if you come through.
Yeah, about the Book of Lamentations is basically talking about a spiritual second
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
you're still roboting really bad, Anthony.
And it's basically the same thing that Jeremiah.
I just muted him, guys. Y'all talk.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's too
sorry.
bad.
I'm sorry, Anthony. It's literally all we're getting is feed. So we'll check back with you in here in a little bit, but I do apologize, Anthony, and to everyone. Anyways,
Well, I had a pretty good day yesterday. I was in the garden and just kind of like digging in the dirt and planting a couple seeds and stuff. And a couple guys go walking by, and I started chatting with them. There's like a little trail behind my house through the woods. And they were looking at a piece of land, but they didn't really know their way around and everything. And so they asked me about this certain skiff that a lady out here, she lives in town, but she has a place out here. She said they could use her skiff, but they didn't know where or what. So I said, oh, well, let me go with you, and I'll show you around. And so I showed them where the skiff was, but it didn't have life jackets or nothing. So I ended up giving them a ride over there to where they thought the piece of land was they wanted to buy. And so they were around there for a few hours. You know, I told them to give me a phone call when they're done. And so they called me. I went, picked them up and everything, and brought them back to where they were going to catch their plane. And come to find out, they were looking at the wrong piece of land. So I said, well, call the airplane guy and tell him to hold off, and I'll drive you back over there, and you guys can check out the right piece of land. And so they did. They called and postponed the flight, and I took them over there and hung out, and while they were able to look at the right piece of land, and then after they'd done that, we went back to wait for the airplane. I was able to give some testimony and stuff, and that was it was amazing, because it just like was bottled up inside me, shooken up and ready to explode, you know. And I was able to give it, and man, they were just like, I could tell they were just listening and hanging on every word, and man, they thanked me and everything for not just showing around, but for my testimony and everything. So, man, that felt so good. That was awesome. I think that being able to do that was as much for me as it was for them. So that was great.
Here, brother.
that's awesome. Kind of random segue in there, but that's a great story. Did you talk to him about the shape of the place we live?
No, no, I didn't get to that. Yeah, man, I'm gun shy with that. I've had so many people.
You got things like, hey, have you ever wondered why it's called? Hey, I'll say things like, hey, have you ever gone to an airport and got on an air curve? And they're like, what? Like, have you ever gone to an air curve? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you know, the thing that you get in and then it flies around the curve. And they're like, oh, an airplane? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what it flies over. And so,
Yeah,
like, little
that's a
things
good
like
one.
that where you can kind of just, like, say it as you're passing by. I love things like that. Just quick little things like to make them think, but you're not outright saying it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, just little things to make them think. But
dude,
yeah,
that's like my
that
that's
just
like my
doesn't seem to
start
come
point.
up.
That's my start point. Like if you're trigger shy, I'm like going in there with like a full automatic machine gun and shooting as
Yeah,
many off like little points as I can. But
yeah, it was good though. I was able to share and give some glory to Yah, and yeah, it was just nice. I was a good neighbor, you know, instant in season, and you know, willing to help some people, and I literally had to go the second mile because they went to the wrong piece of land at first. So so that was really cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, I got to get over that being shy about talking about the flat Earth again.
The enclosed cosmology.
You're
Yeah.
you're still in
Enclosed
Alaska,
cosmology.
right, Daryl?
Yeah, I'm still
Oh
in
yeah,
Alaska.
yeah. Yeah, you got to take every opportunity you get. You barely get people coming by.
Yeah, well, in the summer, I get to see more people. We get a few tourists through here,
So
but I'm usually pretty busy fishing and stuff.
totally. All right, let's we'll get into more of that type of conversation once we get through with the episode and that content. I don't want to run out of time. So
Okay.
if anyone had any more about 16 the last thing I wanted to bring up, the fact that they told him that Moses and Aaron, or Lord told Moses and Aaron to take a pot so that they could show the previous generations. I wonder if this thing still exists, if it's still shown, or if it was destroyed to kind of get rid of the proof. But
In the
I
Ark
always
of the
thought about
Covenant.
that. You think it's well? You think that's all still intact?
I don't know. It's a pretty magical box. I'm sure anything can happen with that thing.
For sure. And so I don't know if it's still on the earth or it's been taken away and brought to the new temple. I'm not 100% sold on that, but it would be interesting to kind of to know where that's at.
It's still on the earth, if y'all can hear me.
Yeah, you actually sound clear right now.
It says the angels hit it, right?
I think it's in
Right, but-
Jubilees. I haven't read that in Jubilees, but I remember someone saying about that in Jubilees. I don't know if in the quote unquote canon.
Don't get wet.
If it's in the quote unquote canon.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in the book of Joshua and First Samuel. I think it might be Judges. I think it's
Yeah, you're breaking up again, brother.
But yeah, the
I have to mute you again, bro. I'm sorry.
Hittites are some.
All right, sorry about that again, Anthony and people. While he's roboting away, I'm gonna go and get into the next chapter that we're gonna read, which is gonna be Exodus 20. So we're gonna skip. We're gonna skip a few chapters. Let's bring this up. So Exodus 20. It's not too long, so we'll get into it real quick. So we got Exodus 20, and God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me. And thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is in thy gates. For in the 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord that God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor thy maidservant, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise and the trumpets and the soaking mountains smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood far off. And they said unto Moses, I'm going to pause real quick. I don't know if y'all can hear me right now. No.
Yeah,
People are saying that there's audio issues right now.
Oh.
They said it's buffering. I'm getting YouTube errors. So if y'all would all just mute real quick, I'm going to see if there's anything I can do. Why is it doing this?
To me and me to make fix his phone.
I don't know, it seems like the stream's going for me. It's not spinning out. Good now, I heard in the chat, Jay-Z.
Okay, one looks good. I'm just making sure the other one is running, so bear with me just a second if everyone can hear me. I think y'all can. Okay. Sorry guys, just bear with me a brief moment. I'm trying to get into here. Okay, there we go. Alright, sorry about that everyone. See if this one's gonna pull up for y'all too. Okay, perfect. So I hope everything is good to go. Everyone can hear me now. Anyway, so finishing off, and does anyone know where I left off? I don't know where the audio cut off, so I'm just gonna jump up a little bit.
Seventh day, Sabbath.
Oh, okay.
The 10 Commandments. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know what day, where it left off on
Sabbath,
the stream.
seventh day.
Okay. And then it says, honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be long upon the land in which the Lord giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet the neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor maidservant, nor ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and lightnings and the noise of the trumpets and the mountain smoking. And when they saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thou shalt not say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, nor ye shall make unto me you gods of gold. An altar on the earth thou shalt make me unto me, and thou shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep, thine oxen, and all the places where I record my name I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone, for if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. So, a little short one there, and most of us recognize this obviously as the Ten Commandments, and this is obviously tied into the title of the episode, resolution. And so resolution is making your mind to do something or to not do something. So we see that, here in a little bit, we'll get into it more. We'll see the different types of things that people have, what their resolution is. Is it to have other gods before Yah, or is it to not? Is it to make graven images, or is it and to bow down to them, or is it not? And a lot of us know these answers, but I just wanted to point that out, because all of these things that he's asking here, most Christians that wouldn't say they're Torah observant would all agree with. Now, they may dissect one thing over the other and say, for instance, the Sabbath day, it doesn't matter what day. There's a lot of different ways that we could dissect this, but we could all at least agree that these are good behaviors to have, and ones that are significant to the Father, in so much that he had them written. He wrote them in stone. So just wanted to point that out. Read that scripture. Does anyone have any thoughts about that? I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can unmute. Go ahead, but I'm gonna unmute you as well, Anthony. Go ahead, Nick.
I think the section from verse 18 to 21 is obviously really critical, and I'd like to hear what other people think about it. But basically, they're in fear, starting at verse 18, and the mountains smoking and lightning and flashing, and just after Yahuwah's laid out the Decalogue, and the people, it says in verse 19, then they said to Moses, speak to us yourself, and we will listen, but do not have God to speak to us, or we will die. And I think this expression from the people right there dramatically changed the course of the covenant that God was going to keep with them. I believe he would have kept it much simpler, at least in theory, as just the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments, and essentially and walk with me like he did with Abraham. However, and this is my theory after thinking about this for a while, I really do believe that the Israelites coming out of Egypt were dealing with a severe slave mentality and just feared God, but not for the right reasons. And this resulted in them wanting a someone between them and God, another man between them and God, who was Moses, who obviously was very righteous and was in a very important type in the Old Testament of Jesus to come, but still it was not, the ideal covenant that God was to have with his people. And then we get the letter of the Torah and so on and so forth. So I know there's a lot there, and I'm not saying I'm 100% on that, but this is just what I've thought about after pondering this passage in this chapter a whole lot. So there's that.
After that, they wanted a king, so they continually wanted to run away from God.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good so far.
Yeah, that's what they feared the most, was having to change their livelihood and start keeping what Yahuwah told them to do instead of what the Egyptian rulers told them to do. They had I forget what it's called. Sorry. They had become accustomed to doing the things in Egypt. And when they did become
That's
free,
so unfortunate.
We got to put them down.
they
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Anthony. I know that's so frustrating. I don't know what's going on about your service. I would maybe try to restart your phone. Maybe there's an update or
Yeah, he
something
left
like
out.
that. Okay, so if you're hearing me, hopefully you can get that fixed and get you taken care of. But I'd try to reset it. But anyway, so um, I'd like to hear what you said, but we literally couldn't. But kind of what you were saying, Nick. Um, I think I think you're right in some aspects, and I think that's what I was kind of almost alluding to is that slave mentality. I think that they saw a lot of mighty signs and wonders while they were in Egypt, and not including the 10 plagues. So when I'm saying mighty signs and wonders, I'm not saying ones from the Lord. I'm saying the ones from the quote unquote gods of Egypt and their sorcerers and magicians, etc. So we saw like a battle happen right throughout that where the sorcerers were doing things that Moses was doing. So we saw those, but what my point is I think they saw them before. So that's why they could see all these crazy things, and to them, to them, like they had already been seeing crazy things, but these are maybe a little bit crazier. And so I do have some, like some empathy for them in their fear, because I think that they have maybe seen some of this stuff before. And what this is kind of alluding to is kind of what Anthony is saying is he's trying to get them out of the the Pharaoh's kind of that religion, that slavery, into the freedom of relationship with him. And the way that he's appearing to them, their instant thought is, we want like a Pharaoh. We want, because Pharaoh, like we talked about before, is the highest authority in Egypt. He is the man manifest by the gods to be Pharaoh. So he has the backing of all the gods behind him. And he's the top, the top authority in the area. So dealing with that, right? Having that, they're almost longing for that. But I think the point of that also is the Hebrews amongst them. They also, in my opinion, right? I think that the whole promise has been this actual Messiah, this King, right? To to be the one, right? And they're hoping Moses is it, right? And they're hoping, and we'll go on this. They're hoping the next one's it, and and we keep going to this. And sometimes they kill him, sometimes they lift him up. But what my point is this shock and awe, I think, was realer than any, like was more real than anything that they ever experienced. And they literally were in, like, I don't think, you said that they feared the wrong way. I think that they were finally starting to understand what kind of God that they were talking about, because they lost sight of him for a long time. So anyways, to stop my rambling, I'm gonna try again with you, Anthony, but if you'd like to respond, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah. I agree with you in some areas, definitely. And Frank mentioned how they went on to wine the king shortly after that. I'm not sure what exact example Frank was thinking of, but before he answers that, I was thinking in Judges chapter 8, when Gideon delivers the Israel from the Midianites, and they want to make Gideon their king, but he says no, like the Lord shall rule over you. And then First Samuel chapter 8, there's a whole issue of Israel wanting a physical earthly king, but Samuel warns against it and says, like, a physical a man leading you is going to be bad, and he lists all these reasons. He's gonna take taxes from you, do this and that. So I think there is like that in play here, where it's like there's a narrative in scripture where God's saying, like, you really don't want a man as your leader or someone between me and you. So and unfortunately they made that decision to hear it through Moses. And again, I mean, I can't really theorize, well, what would have exactly happened if they didn't, and
Well,
they just were
well,
like,
I agree with you, but I think he's kind of saying you don't want that here in the now. Like, you think you want it here in the now, like in this world, in this setting with sin in the world. Like, you think you want it now, but it's never going to work. And we can look at that specifically at any government. Governments start, they're great, they grow, people are prosperous, they get powerful, they attack within, they kill off their people, and then the whole system starts over again. So that, or they're attacked from another nation and they're wiped out, whatever it is, like, there's that type of behavior. To me, is just the fact that we live in a world of sin. That's why what he's specifically talking about. Like, you don't want, and then even furthermore, the reason why that to me is even more insane is that when they do act, when the Father actually does send them a man that could actually do those things perfectly, they murder him. So,
well, if,
They murder.
Messiah, Yeshua.
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
And-
go ahead, Anthony.
and they also try to make Jesus Messiah physical earthly king too. But sorry, I just want to get that in there. And
I hope I can get it out. Yeah, God warns to warn the people about wanting a king, because in that sense they were putting the king over Yahuwah. They were putting a human king in place.
Well, that's the same thing they're doing now. They're calling for Trump. Instead of seeking God in this time of trouble, we know all the corruption going on, but people are still want a physical savior. They want someone to rise up and do their fighting for them instead of going to God and asking Him to liberate us and to prosper us, even in this time of inflation and in trouble. You know what I mean? Because He can do all things are possible through the Father. But people still want a physical man, even today, to lead them out of trouble. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Makes tons of
It
yeah,
does. It does make tons of sense, right? And sorry to interrupt you. One thing though is, like, that eventually leads to kind of like communism, right? Like, we don't need a leader, like, but the reality is there is a hierarchy, right? And we mimic that hierarchy, but then, unlike the Father, we put in all our bias into said hierarchies. But what I mean is, like, in order to ship things like logistics, that takes a lot of work, and it literally takes one person telling a group of people to do something, and that person was told what to say, and that person was told how to say, etc. And there's this whole line of things to get information out there. Now, of course, and this is what I was kind of talking about with governments, when they start out, they're always good, but if they get all this power and all this wealth and they're so prosperous, a lot of the times, if they're not focused like Abraham on being obedient to the Father and sticking with that will, they quickly come out of that, and their nations are ravaged or destroyed or whatever. And you can literally see that throughout history. And we've already talked about it, like up to now. We've seen the waxing and waning. Abraham goes, there's waxing, and then and then his son comes, and then we get to Jacob, and then once he's gone, boom, we have this 400 years of servitude to the Hebrews. I don't think that the Father just let that happen to them while they were completely in the Father's will. They obviously were against it. That's why those blessings were taken from them. And that's kind of my point, is that's a reoccurring theme over and over, that the people who were doing his behavior are prosperous, are living in abundance, and then those that aren't, right? Those that aren't are not, and unfortunately, when the group of those who are living outside of the will gets to a certain degree, that implodes, and a whole bunch of good people are killed in it, in war and kill-offs, genocides, etc. We've literally seen it happen over and over and throughout history. So, anyways.
Well,
what was you gonna say, Daryl?
Yeah, I want to hear Daryl real quick, what he was gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of agree, and kind of expound on a little bit. I may be off, but about that they didn't want to get close to Yah. They said no, we're scared. Let Moses be up there, and let him be our king, or let us have another king, and let us have laws and things like that. I don't know if that's the scripture, but to me it kind of seemed like they were begging for laws and a king, and that they were still in Egypt in their mind. Like what Vader was saying, they still were, seeing the sorcery stuff, and they hadn't really made up their mind. They still had a heart for doing stuff the old way, from Egypt. They were still in Egypt wanting to do those kind of things. And I don't think that Yah's plan was to like enforce the Torah on them and have them a king. I think that he wanted to just walk with them in love and mercy, and just teach them like a father teaches his child. Yeah, you might have to spank them a little bit, or maybe you could just talk to them reasonable. I think it was more what he's wanting to have an intimate thing with us,
relationship.
with the relationship, yeah, with the Holy Spirit in us, and I think we're still going through the same thing, we're still pushing Moses between us, it's like, you get these mega churches, we want to idolize some, billionaire pastor or something, and buy him jets and keep him happy, so we don't have to have a one-on-one personal relationship. We can pay our tithes or do whatever, and keep God at a distance. I think we all kind of do that in some little part, even when we really seek in and seeking them. Are we really doing that with our whole heart? Is there one, I mean, the fear of God could be a good thing, but then it can be, something else. I think there's a certain kind of fear that we have to have, but something that pushes us to seek the Father, and not, push Moses between us and the Father.
Oh, for sure. And I think that the fear was based upon what they were feeling in Egypt. They saw these things happen, right? Which were similar, but they're not the real presence. And the repercussions typically, I bet, of those happenings were probably like rituals of human sacrifice and, you know, weird stuff with the gods. And so they tied that, seeing that type of thing, to the fear that they had of the Pharaoh. But I think the point of that is they were fearful of death, a physical death, right? But what he goes
Right.
on to teach them is it's not just about spiritual death, right? Like, we go on to know that it's like, why do you fear the person who can take your flesh, but he who can take your soul? But they were all bought in for 400 years to the whole, you know, mythology of Egypt, which is Nimrod, which is Osiris, which is this huge religion that was the antithesis of being set apart. So they became that were incorporated into something, you know, like they had been fully taken over, right? But there was a glimmer of hope.
Right.
And I think we've seen that over and over. And that's
Well,
why I think that, just to finish it up, to the king part, that's why I think that the reason why they wanted that is because they wanted the Messiah. They didn't, but what they were asking for was and they thought in their minds is like, hey, put someone that's us in representation for us, right? But what he was saying is, you don't want that here in the now. Like, you think that a human being is gonna able to do this, but they're not, because even if he does, right? And I know I'm going long-winded, but Adam, Abraham, all the way, Isaac, Jacob, all the way down through the line, all of these men who were in those positions, even if they did well, it wasn't a guarantee that the next generation would do just as well. So there is a separation, and it's based upon whether they were made a resolution to follow what the Father was saying or not.
Well, it comes down to what people are just comfortable with a mediator. They can't receive God's love, and they're just comfortable with a mediator, and some don't even want his love. And you can see how the mob rules take over this whole congregation. The mob that came out of Egypt, and those that were Egyptians and from other countries, they were literally running the camp because they were all going against what the Father wanted, which was a relationship with all of them, like Daryl just said. And we have that same thing now. It just, with the Operation Mockingbird, with all the things that are going on, it's a mob rule mentality. You can only say what we want you to say, what we feel is acceptable. Anything else is conspiracy, or any glimmer of the truth is just a conspiracy, and it's misinformation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And so before we run out of time, I want to read one more scripture, and it is a little bit of a longer one. It's Exodus 32, but the reason why, but I'm stopping real quick because I want y'all to keep in mind. I think that's a great point. That fear, right? That they're saying, put this person in front of us, right? Put this person in front of us. So I'm going to share on screen. This again is Exodus 32. And it says, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us out of the land of Egypt, we wrought not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in your ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And they all brake off the gold earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at the hand, and then fashioned with a graving tool, and he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These by thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they rose up early on the morrow, and offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings, and the people sat to eat and drink, and rose up to play. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people which thou broughtest out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them, that they have made them a molten calf, and worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy God, O Israel, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen these people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now, therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax not hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. And Moses besought the Lord his God, and said, Lord, why doth thy wrath hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power, and with a mighty hand? Therefore should the Egyptians speak and say, For mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath, and repent of thy evil against thy people. Remembering Abram, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swarest by thine own self, and saidst unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and thou shalt inherit it forever. And the Lord repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the 2 tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides, on one side and on the other were they written. And the tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God graven upon the tables. And when Joshua heard the noises of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, There is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, It is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, and he saw the calf and the dancing, Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands, and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made, burnt it with fire, ground it to powder, and strawed it up the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it. And Moses said unto Aaron, What did these people unto thee, thou that brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, Let not the anger of my Lord wax not. Thou knowest the people, that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, Make us gods which shall go before us, for as Moses, the man that brought us out of the land of Egypt, we wrought not what is become of him. And I said unto them, Wheresoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it to me. Then I cast it in fire, and there came out this calf. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp, and said, Who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, Thus saith the Lord of Israel, Put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the words of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. And Moses had said, Consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, even every man upon his son and upon his brothers, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, Ye have sinned a great sin. And now I will go up unto the Lord, peradventure that I shall make an atonement for your sin. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of the book which thou hast written. And the Lord said unto Moses, Whoever hath sinned against me, him will I blot out of the book. Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, my angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless is the day when I will visit their sin upon them. And the Lord plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made. So thank you for everyone's patience on me reading that. Anyone have thoughts that jump out on them?
Yeah, if you could hear me right quick, I kind of want to bring up
Go.
something about earlier.
Yeah, go. Fast.
Yeah, it was about the ark that you had mentioned earlier. It hadn't been built up to this point, so it's definitely not here on Earth yet.
No, he was saying that the jar with the manna was placed inside the ark, and that it's with the ark. So wherever the ark is currently in our world today, if it's here, then that pot of manna is with it, is what Chris was saying.
I got you.
But if anyone doesn't have about this, I have a couple of points real quick. Is literally this final warning where we see the greatest love in Moses, where Moses is like if you can't forgive their sin, and this is in 32 and I'm paraphrasing, it's like, if you can't forgive their sin, then blot me out with them. And he's like, no, I'm not going to blot you out. I'm going to blot out anyone who's sinned against me. So sinned being, transgressed this will. And we see that this is tied exactly to them breaking, which we read again in 28. And let me pull this up 1 second. So here in 20, when we read it out of the 10 Commandments, that second thing, it literally, let's see, boom, right here. The second thing he says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or that is water under the earth. They made a image of a calf. So he had just told them this. They were just afraid, and then they sent them up, and then as soon as they're up, they're like, hey, we don't know what happened to him. Let's do one of the things he told us just not to do. And what was the consequence of them doing that and going through that whole process? 3,000 men were killed. 3,000 men had to be killed in order for the Father's plan to work still. So, and I obviously, it's very interesting that the men who come to call of arms is the Levites, which is the priesthood. Okay, and then I believe this exact same thing is going to happen when Messiah comes, but that's a whole nother topic. Does anyone have anything to say about that, or any other parts?
Well, I was thinking about in Ezekiel chapter 23 that Yah goes on talking about Jerusalem and Samaria, and this whole story, this analogy of like these two daughters who basically prostitute themselves in Egypt, right? And it just seems like there's this repeated thing throughout scripture where God has this thing against Egypt, and it represents like slavery and whatnot. And I just see it all over in like Galatians chapter 4. And I'm just thinking about that with this juncture where we're at in the scripture, with them getting into this covenant, on Mount Sinai. So there's that. Ezekiel 23 is the area I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's kind of jumping far into scripture, and I'm not opposed to tying stuff in, but
Guilty as charged.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So in another thing that is obviously really interesting is the fact that he when Moses comes down, right, like he did not only destroyed the tablets, right, but tables, but he took the calf that they made, burnt it with fire, and ground it with powder. It ground it into powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink it. Now, I've heard interesting things about this, like chemically, quote unquote, chemically, and how that works for your body, and stuff like that. But I was also kind of looking at it from connecting it here to the bottom thing, and it says, and the Lord plagued the people because they had made the calf. I wonder if that like almost has any connection to them drinking the gold, or how, as we've, alternatively, how, as we've talked before, if it's more like, spiritually, we know that if you're doing spiritual things, that can manifest in your body physically, just like if you're doing things physically, that can manifest in your spirit. Any thoughts?
I actually heard somebody talk on this subject one time before, and they said it was melted gold that they had read somewhere. I can't remember where though. But they said it was melted gold.
I guess
I
what do
thought
you
it
mean
was
by melted
crushed
gold?
up, powdered.
Because it literally says like he crushed it up into powder,
Right.
and then strawed it over, meaning like he spread it over the water, and then he made the people drink that water. I also wonder if it was maybe kind of like a cleansing process. Like the only way that you can like say like, I'm dumb is by kind of eating it. Kind of like almost like putting your foot in your mouth. Like this silly thing that you made, we're gonna like make you eat it. So I always have it thought about that, and what the point of it was. It a chemical thing? Like did it physically, like physically do something to their body? Was it something that did something physical to their body that let a spiritual thing happen? I don't know. It's really interesting to me, to think about that. But I last thing that I want to point out, is I think it's very I personally think this is really funny. So like he's coming out of the mountain, right? And he's like how we were reading in 20 or whatever, and like he's literally like, don't hurt, don't hurt your people. It's actually here. No, it's in 36. I'm sorry. Let me bring it up for y'all. Okay, here we go. Transition. Okay, so right here it says, and Moses was let me see here. I just had it and I lost it. Okay, yeah. And Lord said unto Moses, go get thee down, for thy people that thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them, that they made themselves a molten calf and worshipped it. And they sacrificed thereon and said, these by thy gods, O Israel, have brought them out of the land of Egypt. And Lord said unto Moses, I have seen these people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and I may consume them, and and I will make out of thee a great nation. So he's like, I'm gonna get rid of all of those people, and we'll just start over with you. Yeah,
and he's going to get rid of the people and their gods.
Yeah,
with a consuming fire.
Yeah, so he's gonna get rid of all of you, and he's like, no, please don't do that, please, like, you would basically be like, you just brought him out here for mischief and killed him, but what I think is funny is then when Moses comes down, he's like instantly has that same anger, right? Where he like destroys the tables and he's just like, give me this thing, and he breaks it down. He's like, drink this. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's almost like he was like, because the father knew what they were doing when he didn't, but when he saw it, it was like, he was like, no way am I really seeing this right now. I think that's so interesting. That's juxtaposed to him, wanting to soothe the father's anger, and then he turns around and is like, okay, we're gonna make them all drink it, and then, hey, I need people to come with me, and we're gonna go kill 3,000 of these men. So I don't know, I think it's really juxtaposed where he's asking the father for mercy, but then seemingly isn't giving mercy, and then he's asking for information, and then destroying that information. So I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts about that, or any of the other parts of 32?
Well, until he killed the 3,000, I was thinking it was a foreshadow of Yeshua going into the temple and turning over the tables and cracking the whip and just cleaning out the father's house. But when you threw the 3,000 getting killed in there, that kind of blew that theory.
Yeah, but he literally he gets the Levites together, the priesthood, and he goes out and kills 3,000 men. And I think it's just very interesting, that just juxtaposed thing where Moses was able to convince the authority of the father to not put his judgment down on the people, but when he gets back, he's like, okay, this is the judgment we're gonna have for these 3,000 men. For all Israel, y'all are all gonna drink this, and these 3,000 men are gonna die. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. But any other points?
I imagine Moses was like, did y'all just see what I just saw? And y'all are already going back to Egypt. You already want to worship these gods. Did y'all just see what I saw? I can see his frustration.
Oh, no, totally. But don't you get the father's frustration? Like, it's almost, we could all say, like, wouldn't it have been easier if he just wiped out all those people and started over with Moses?
He'd already done tried that one, though.
No, I get it. And well, I'm not saying all the people. I'm saying all the people in the wilderness with him. You know what I mean? Like, just get y'all rid of them, and we'll just start off with you. You'll be the next Abraham. You know what I mean? But anyways, all right. Well, we've gone through the scriptures I want. Now I know other people have other scriptures or other things they want to talk about, kind of tied into this and stuff. So we can starting to get into that real quick. I just want to shout out a couple people real quick. Now that we're kind of at a stopping point. I see Johnny Cole's in here, and we still got Win and Wendy and FEAR. So I appreciate y'all that have stuck with us, and Pepper. It definitely, we definitely appreciate it, and we've even got a handful of subscribers since we've been on. So we're up to right now 437. So we're inching even closer to hitting that goal of 500 and seeing what everyone's gonna get. So don't forget to vote on which one of those you'd like. So and if there's not one mentioned, I will mention this. If there's not one mentioned, but there is one that is left as a comment, and that comment gets more upvotes than the offered thing, then we'll totally look at getting that item instead. But for those that aren't particularly interested in any of those, but have a great idea, that's kind of a way you can get in that poll still. So, anyways, sweet. Okay. Well, let's just get into conversation. I did see that North Star joined us, and my beautiful wife just joined us. So there is one that is left as a comment, babe. And there you go. You gotta mute the stream, love, and just listen on here. But anyways, so my lovely wife and North Star joined us. How you doing, love?
Shalom, all. Hi, family. Loved the stream. I actually like it better when I do the announcements. So I just hopped on.
Okay, well, you're like an hour and 36 minutes around ish late. So
It's just for announcement purposes. I just wanted to say that we are only 63 subs away from reaching the 500. Less than 100 subs to go. It should not be that difficult. It's super exciting. So just everybody in your household grab their phone and just sub to the channel on their behalf. Then walk on over to your neighbor's house and grab their phones, do the same thing. That way, some super gravy just pops up on their YouTube. And then don't forget to post to your social media apps just to share the videos. And then, like Vader was saying, the shofar is in the lead as the giveaway prize. And we're so, so excited to be able to do that for someone. Don't forget that in order to be in the drawing, you don't just have to subscribe, you also have to comment on one of the videos. So that is, don't forget to do that. And then, can I just do one more announcement?
of course.
Okay, so on the Take on the World channel, Ian has his show for D&G Ministries, and he announced last night that he was very seriously looking into having a get-together for the Take on the World family, everybody who is a content creator and everybody who watches, for Sukkot in October. He's very seriously thinking the first week of October in Ohio for the gathering. He would like to get a head count to see who is seriously committed to this option. And you can reach him on Facebook or Instagram. And just let him know that you're interested in learning more about joining up together for Sukkot. I personally would love to meet each and every one of you. So if you could be there, that would just be so amazing. And I know, if this is Yah's will, may He, bless it and open the doors for it, and financially back it. So definitely reach out to him.
I wonder if he picked the first week of October because like nobody's calendar has a Sukkot on that week.
I don't know. He said the first or second, and I honestly know that Sukkot is in October this year, but I don't know when it is. I haven't looked.
The second week.
Well, then ask Ian for more information. Maybe I got it backwards.
Okay, I was just sort of checking and saying. It just made my mind boggle for a second.
Awesome. And then thank you for those announcements, baby. You're more welcome to stay. But North Star did join us too. How are you doing this evening, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing great, guys. Just listening.
Yeah, awesome. I just to kind of talk with you or at you, I guess it's to say for a second. I guess we'll see. But I've been present at a few of, like Bible studies, as well as like debates or discussions that you've had over on the 24/7 Discord channel. Now, the reason why I kind of bring that up is because I don't know if you don't have the capability or you don't have the willingness, but uh, as a person, like to person, I think you could make some great content. I think you have a lot to share, and I'll be the first to say, and I'm sure you're aware of this too, that we disagree on things, and that's totally cool. That's kind of what the point of this table is to come together regardless of those differences and share those puzzle pieces. But the reason why I wanted to point that out anyways, is because I don't know your schedule and stuff, but I'd really like for you to join us more, because I think you do have a lot to share and offer. But of course that's up to you and your schedule. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, um, you know, see what you thought about it.
Yeah, man, that sounds good. I've schedule's been kind of hectic lately, so yeah, but I'll be in a lot more often.
Yeah, awesome, dude. And if you like, DM me if you're like, these are the best days. And I kind of want to bring this up again. On the after show, once the show's over, we go and talk in Discord. We're gonna be talking about some content that we'd like to kind of make in the future. Because right now, right, we're just putting content out pretty much once a week, every stream on Saturday. But we'd like to start adding some other stuff that's maybe not live but pre-recorded. I'm working on shorts, so that I'm getting a big library of them together before I drop them all out. But we have some other things that we kind of work on, and if those who are interested in like doing a presentation or talking about some more modern type of things, please join us in the Discord. Love if you wouldn't mind drop that link, so that they can get there easily. If you're interested in making some content with us, here at the Enclosed Cosmology Fellowship. If not, no worries. If you're interested in even learning about it, join us. But anyways, all right. Well, let's just talk. Does anyone have like anything they want to talk about their week, whatever it is?
Yes, I do. So, real quickly, you guys might hear a 3-year-old in the background because he just walked in. But if you want to, or if you're interested in any scripture studies, even if they're extra biblical, like Enoch and Jubilees and all of those things, I do believe that there is a study every Tuesday night in the Discord channel. I am about to put the link in the comments. And then also, if you'd like to run a study on one of your favorite books, or an extra biblical book, then absolutely free feel to do that. Reach out to Vader and we can set that up on whatever day that you're free to do so. And then those who want to join can just hop in at that time. And it's just a really great way to get together and learn and fellowship.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
I think
So I actually question. I don't know if we did it this previous one because Anthony just got out. But is that something you're intending to do, or did y'all do that Tuesday, Anthony?
No, we actually didn't. Actually, I didn't even realize it was Tuesday until it was Tuesday night. But I'm not backing out of that. I enjoy doing it. I've got to watch my days a little closer now. Took me a little while to get them back straight in my mind, so to speak.
No, yeah, I feel you there.
Vader, are you playing the lyric video at the end of the stream or no?
Yeah, it's not the outro, it's just the lyric video. It's just the words with the song.
Okay, so maybe when we're doing our goodbyes, you could end with like me and Frank, so we can just talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we haven't quite done that yet.
Yeah, of course. And then I am still working on that. It's gonna be like a full on outro that matches the intro, and then Anthony at some point when he's able is gonna be sending me a camera so that I can get some high quality footage instead of trying to shoot video from an iPhone. So then I want to I really have this idea in my mind. I just need better equipment to make it happen. But anyways, has anyone, this is kind of a random thing, has anyone ever that has Amazon Prime, have y'all seen the Tomorrow War? Anyone?
No. Sorry.
But yeah, it's the P1000. I think it records in the video is, I think it's 4K Ultra. The stuff, huh? I'm pretty sure of that anyway.
Yeah, I don't need quite that much, even if it's 1080 by 920 920 by 1080. That would be perfect. And I know you can do stuff. For my vision, I need to not be able to do all this pre-work or post-work to get what I want. So, anyways, I see Traveler Mishler's here. Shalom, brother. I hope you're doing very well. Always good to see you. Shout out to you for shouting us out, and I'm sure you see, but my lovely wife loves your study, so definitely appreciate all the great content that you provide, her and others. I do watch it when I can, but welcome to the chat. Anyways, anyone got any random things they want to talk about? Daryl, you were giving us that story earlier. You were kind of leading into it a bit more. Did you have anything left over about it that you wanted to talk about? Oh, not sure if you can hear me.
Well, while we're waiting for him to respond, anytime you hear that little ching, that's North unmuting, so you know he wants to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have those things muted, but I hear.
No, it's not like that. It's his own phone noise it makes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, brother. Go ahead, North.
Yeah, real quick, just a study idea. If you guys want to do like a chronological order of the wine cup of his wrath and when it was given to the nations, and the order in which it's drank. I'm sure everyone has heard. He starts with his house first, Jerusalem. So it is a very interesting study, and it comes all the way into our future. So that may be a good study to do.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we can.
Here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, we can definitely set up and pick a day that we can do that. That everyone can join. That'd be awesome. We would, realistically like to be able to get it where we could have a couple things going on a day. Each ran by their own person. Put out content. People want to do presentations about certain things. We can put those together and have standalone presentations or documentaries or whatever it is. We want to grow this, and this is just people literally coming together. I make the graphics in the streams, they make the music, Anthony gets the people. So we're all doing what we can to reach the the sheep that are not in the fold, to bring them back into the Father's fold. So, anything that people like that are comfortable with doing or would like to do, please join us on Discord. Join us for the conversation tonight on the at the after show, yeah, I'd love to get more into that. So I know Anthony's excited for me to talk about this, but I'm super pumped. We got our mill, and a close friend of mine gave me some. I didn't even know. I went over there talking to him about, eating, real bread and stuff like that, and all the stuff that was taken out. And those that haven't checked out the Bread Beckers show, we'll see a link to it in a second. Oh, also, if you would real quick, Frankie, will you chat in in YouTube so that I can moderate you? So you have to be modded to be able to post links. So if you'd like to post links to y'all's channel, you'll be able to do that once I can mod you. But anyways, let me get this done. Okay. All right. I hope I didn't interrupt anyone saying anything. Was there anyone that wanted to bring up any more topics? We got about a conversation or two left before we'll start closing it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put together a presentation in the very near future on kind of what I see in the Book of Lamentations. So hopefully that I get that done pretty.
Yeah, that would be good because you were breaking up earlier. We couldn't hear anything you were going to say about Lamentations.
Yeah. It sucks when stuff like those happen. Grabblers gotta grabble, and they grabble for sure.
I honestly think my phone's been tampered with.
Well, you're coming through real good right now.
Honestly, after what you've been through, man, and what I went through to even talk to you and all that, like, it wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? But it's not like you're doing anything other than what you're supposed to be, so it's like them, like some grown man sitting in a closet staring at a screen of another man. It's pretty weird, bro.
Yeah, I don't go that way. I do love a man though. His name is Hamashiach.
Yeah, when you said that, man, I was thinking about like creepy CIA, FBI person.
Yeah,
like.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Literally. It is kind of creepy, right? Like, it's pretty creepy. I'll just say.
Did anyone watch the draft this weekend? The NFL draft?
Nah, I'm not really into.
It's a hard no.
Frankie, you're in the wrong saloon, brother.
Try to stay out of Masonic rituals or anything that has to do with that.
Yeah, same here. I don't watch the Greek.
I honestly think, like, to be honest, all sports to some level are WWE. Like, they're picked, but sometimes a leg breaks when it shouldn't, or sometime someone makes a catch when they shouldn't have. I think that things can upset their plan, but I think they have a plan on what they want to do. And
however, our 4-year-old does play t-ball, and it is adorable.
It is a big show, definitely.
The Roman arena is there to play on individuals' tribal instincts, and when people know more about their sports teams than they do their own children, it's just straight up pathetic. There's no other word for it.
Yeah, that
could have been a contender.
I have close family that like know more about like they believe in stuff, but they know more about like they can tell you a lot of players and what their numbers were in high school, and it's like they take a lot of time consuming that information, and all the stuff that's real important in life doesn't become as important, so it seems. But not to get into that too deep.
Yeah, I think there is a need for excitement and cheers and stuff like that, but to get excited about men wearing tights and wrestling around on the ground over a ball, just don't do it for me.
But the food, though, you guys, the food.
Yeah,
Very-
Oh yeah, I get excited about food. That's good.
Yeah, I'm all about the tailgate.
Yeah, let's munchies. Sunday football is not about Sunday football, it's about Sunday munchies.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense to me right there. Fellowship and coming together and just having fun
Well,
with people.
but see, that's the thing, is they take away the days that we are supposed to do that, and then they insert these hollow holy days, right? And so we always yearn to do those things, but then we do those things in an environment of their creation. If that makes any sense. It's kind of sickening. Like it is in our it is in our being to come together and to have fun and celebrate. But
It's a direct
they
Yeah.
give us something to the wrong things to celebrate. Sorry, go on, Anthony.
I was just saying it was a direct inversion to Jeremiah 10. Instead of telling them to stop worshiping false gods, we as a nation, have ended up following those same false gods.
And then calling them stars.
That's right.
Well, it's just a resurrection of the two beast system. That's all. Church and state crushing it. Rome and the church. Because we're under Roman authority still.
Well, that's what our quote unquote science is. It's Roman authority.
Yep.
Totally.
Except authority from one man.
It's just another action from the truth.
Yeah. Yep. There's many of those. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do the rest of the house cleaning, keeping. We'll read the last comments from the last video. Remember, when you leave a comment, we read it on the video. So I'll go ahead and bring those up for all of you. Bear with me. Quick reminder, though. There is that vote for the 500 milestone prize. So go make sure you vote on what you'd like to be. Do you want it what? I don't know. You got to choose. And then also, we'll go ahead and read those comments. So, Bread Beckers, this is the video. So check this out. This is about basically the story of bread and what we have now compared to what we would had short few years ago. And then Marsha says, love the show and the family has come from your Discord and YouTube videos. Absolutely. It's really growing. And of course, I said comments really help the channel grow. So please leave those comments. I'll give it, it really does help us out. And then over on the Take on the World, again, help our channels grow, leave a comment. Also, that is a requirement for the prize. And then Moonglow said, Egyptian God info, Mr. Moonglow, start here. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's some pretty great info. And then the Amish are too secretive. Tell me you've never once spoke to an Amish person without telling me. Wait, tell me you've never spoken to an Amish person without telling me you've never spoken to an Amish person. I actually have never talked to an Amish person, but the information, at least that I've found on the outside, makes them seem like they are secretive. Now, maybe that's a misconception. I don't know, but they do seem very secret society to me personally.
But how do you answer that without saying that?
You can't. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah. And then Moonglow said, thank you. And yeah, appreciate y'all's comments. It really does help us get out there to more people. The little that, if any, that we do get help. And then last again, 5 to free Anthony. Now he's already free. We do have 415. We're trying to reach the 2,500 to get him a lawyer and to basically combat what he had to go through. If you have the ability to, if you want to, please do. It will help him out. If you don't, we understand. It is hard times, but thank you to all of those that have. So. Anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap it up and start saying our goodbyes. So I'll start from the top and go to the bottom. I have my beautiful wife, the Mrs. Vader Bear, if you'd like to say goodbyes.
Yep, I just want to add a distinction real quick. That sub, if you are watching and listening from the Take on the World channel, thank you so much for your sub to Take on the World. The for the prize giveaway, it is a sub to the ECF channel, which I have linked in the comments. So make sure that you are subbing to that channel as well if you like the content and the fellowship that you're experiencing through this show. And I hope that you all have a wonderful week that we are heading into, and may the Abba Father bless you and keep you.
Perfect. Thank you for that update and clarification. And then we'll throw it over to our dear brother Anthony. Sorry much that you had troubles getting gravel tonight with your cell coverage, but I appreciate you being here nonetheless, and I look forward to that presentation we're gonna make. So, but yeah, you want to say your goodbyes to everyone?
Well, I will certainly do my best. Make it short as I can so I don't robot too bad. But thank you all very much, and many, many blessings to you all. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, brother. And Daryl Lee.
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Had a good time with y'all tonight again, as usual. And I just thank you for that. And everybody have a wonderful week. All right. Bye-bye.
And I'm going to save you, Frankie, and Nick. Got serve the one I am, Chris.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. And as usual, just peace and blessings to everyone.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, brother. We always enjoy your company. All right, so I'm going to throw it off to both of y'all. So make sure y'all both say your goodbyes and both kind of say your pieces about your song, and we'll go from there. So I'll go ahead and say my goodbyes and then throw it off to y'all. So appreciate all of y'all, all the joy, all the fellowship. I appreciate the subscriptions and the joining on Discord, becoming members there. All the people that support the Discord by doing the boosting the server. There's so much love and support and creation in this community, and I just love it. The people that have gone out of their way to help Anthony, all the different things that y'all do. It's just so awesome that we're able to come together, as a body and make some of these things happen. So appreciate y'all so much. Love to all the people that are watching this now, watched it the whole way through, and those that watch later on. So we appreciate y'all. Other than that, have a Shabbat Shalom if your stun's still up. If not, Shalom. And until next time, I'll throw it over to Born Out of Time.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, you go, and I'll close out.
All right. Yeah, this song's called Dig Deep. Nick wrote all the words. We're really excited about it. We went into the studio and recorded it. Our producer put a real good lead track on it. He's a very talented musician. He's our secret third member of the band. We call him our third member. He doesn't realize that, but we're praying for that. And we just hope you're really blessed by our music. We have 20 some original faith-based songs. When I am able to post in the comments, I'm going to post our links to our SoundCloud and our YouTube page and our Reverb Nation where you can find our music. So I'll throw Nick can describe how he wrote this song and what inspired him, and Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. And real quick, just a couple quick thank yous. Really want to thank Anthony Dickinson for prompting me last weekend to write a song about Exodus 15 and the song of Moses and Israel. It made for a really good week for me. I spent a lot of time in the Word, driving around and like writing the lyrics in my head, and like just a lot of good time just focused on God. And it was just a real blessing. It really took over my week. So I want to thank him for that. I want to thank Frank for throwing me that riff to start writing this song, which is not the song we're about to play now, but one which we'll have together soon. Frank's always great, just really generous songwriter guy, not like selfish or controlling at all, but just wants to make a good song. Want to thank Vader and the Vader family for hosting our music and getting it out there. Just thank Daryl and Chris and everyone else for showing up tonight. Felt it was a really good show, and just really thankful. So yeah, this song, Dig Deep, whew, it's an awesome journey we're all on, and you keep digging deep and you just find out that it's just all a big outpouring of unconditional love from God, from the Father. Ain't no wrath coming our way, but just limitless, unconditional love from God. And that's what I found from digging deep. And that's what we all know. And just like Vader sums it up so well when he quotes the Bible, he says, Abba loved you first. Just that right there. So we're just blessed that you guys will listen to our music and just enjoy it. And so with that, we give you Dig Deep. Everyone have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter out. You raise up a standard, beat back our enemy. You establish this realm, and like a scroll you spread it.